Ah, that was a smooth transition. Let's go. Recap. Let's start with the CPT online premiere in Brazil and Ronaldinho, Campeonato Brasileiro 58, or whatever the game was, the meme is. Taking number 1, Ronaldinho qualifies for Capcom Cup. Number 9, Juninho and Dark rounding out the top 3 for the podium. Horus Paulin, Jaleche, Gust, Kamikaze, and Davi rounding out your top 8. Then we have the Force 90, WTF, Gene, Alexis, Chocotone, Black Ninja, Venom Flows, Didi Mokov, that's a name we have not heard in a while, Joe Orochi, and Baby Brazil rounding out the top 16. Funny how the first 2 players have football names. They really do, Shay. Dude, that's a good call out, man. All right, hold on. Let's see if I can remember how to... Is this the button for the next one? Yeah. Did I do it right? I did it right. Oh, did it 2 right now. There we go. Next, for those of you that missed it, DreamHack Melbourne 2022 was a Dojo Prime event, and Yagami, all the way down from Down Under, taking 220 points home for the Tekken World Tour. 500 milligram of Trend per week, taking 2nd place, and Bobby taking 3rd place. And of course, the rest of the top 8 are Subject, the Hangman Kid, Cheapies, Stuckles, and 6 Wheat Bix. 6 Wheat Bix. Shani, Dion Gray, Super Soldier, and Deception round out the tied for 9th. And Duklin, Woe, Damu, and Nama all tied for 13th. That's right. We got some Tekken from Down Under. Also, in DreamHack Melbourne, Blitzkrieg taking Guilty Gear Strive. Roth taking Street Fighter V. Smash Bros. Ultimate taken by the Brick Enthusiast. And Agent 17805 taking DNF Duel. Now let's get all the way out from Down Under and take a little bit of a trip to the East Coast Throwdown, all the way at the other side of the world. There was a lot going on at East Coast Throwdown. Congrats to L.I. Joe and the crew for a successful event. IDOM. Once again, all the way at the top, taking it over Shine. Big ups to Shine, showing up for grand finals, getting some money for more $3 shape-ups. We got Mag for 3rd. Man, I almost got me. Profit for 4th. Hoji, Cody Mayer, and Metro M and Silver Rupee rounding out the top 8. Kudo, Crispy, Uncle Rec, and Mylin tying for 9th. Dude, yeah, Blue, that was really close. I almost got canceled right there. Burkus, Cheesy T, Boomy, and Space Boy all tied for 13th. You know, I thought since Steve left, I was going to have to say it, but, you know, we'll just call him Mag. Also at East Coast Throwdown, we got some Tekken 7, and it was a dojo event. They had over 64 players. Anakin, of course, the god, Anakin, taking home those 100 shiny points for the Tekken World Tour. Bloodhawk, John Hammer, Still Electric, rounding out the top 4. Massacre, Ty, The Bad Exalted, and Hot Like Fire, rounding out the top 8. Cormanda, the game Pepper Beef Too Spicy. That's a name I have not heard in a while. And Hazel tied for 9th. Nameless, Soup Stoops, Mills Big Red, and Fear, rounding out your top 16. 7 of the 8 players in ECT top 8 for Tekken were above 30. Tekken is a legacy game. Tekken is a legacy game. DNF Duel, Masoma back on the top. Diaphone taking 2nd. Complex 90 rounding out the podium. We got Glitchy Cobra rounding out your top 4. IFC Ipes, the commentator for this block, unfortunately couldn't commentate the block because he made top 8. So congrats to Yipes, tying 5th with Sondula, and tied for 7th, rounding out your top 8 are Punk and Pega. Also, Choo Choo, everybody, thanks for that the hype train. Tying for 9th are Kalimak, Random Fiend, that's another name I have not heard in a hot minute. Ganondorf and Omen all tied for 9th. Kazam, Jackal, Shinigami 313, and Omni Rabbit rounding out your top 16. Next, there's a lot. And this in the East Coast Throwdown was a Dragon Ball FighterZ World Championship Power event taken by Yasha. The big upset over Nitro. Yasha taking the 300 smackaroos for the Dragon Ball FighterZ World Championship. Nitro taking second. Legendary Pred and Hikari rounding out the top 4. Kite, Inzem, Complex 90, and once again, back up here, Random Fiend rounding out your top 8. The winner of the bestie for the funniest name of the week, No Scope Chicken. Tied for 9th along with June, Humper Jam, and Meezy. And Fog, Sage, Punk, and Kali Mac all rounding out your top 16. Let's take it over to King of Fighters 15. Look at that name. Kizzy K. The Guilty Gear God is now the King of Fighter God. Kizzy K taking it for East Coast Throwdown 2022. Yurikov, NYC Master Mike, El Rashikal, all rounding out the top 4. Shadow 780, not to be confused with the Tekken player, Shadow 720. Coach Steve, another name that I have not seen in a while. T-Wong, not J-Wong, T-Wong, and Merkillo all rounding out the top 8. Tied for 9th is regular-sized Majin, not Lil Majin. Silver ZG, Dang, and Tamsun. Tamsun. Okay, I get it now. Tamsun. That's the runner-up for the bestie of the week right there. Rounding out your top 16 are Spectrum, BDK, Aru, and Mid Boss, all tied for 13th. There's more. Guilty Gear Strive at East Coast Throwdown 2022. Umi Show once again showing they're the best in the world, baby. Taking it over One True Snorlax. Wait, is this correct? I thought maybe I dreamt it. I remember watching and I thought One True Snorlax won. Maybe I just fell asleep. Either way, Umi Show, according to this graphic, has won. One True Snorlax taking second, pulling out a lot of upsets. So big ups to One True Snorlax, upsetting a lot of people, including Otashi. K7 Show Off rounding out the podium, and Crocs and Socks rounding out the top 4. Zippy Shine once again showing up here. Kizzy K and Diaphone rounding out the top 8. Tied for 9th are Solstice, Idom once again showing up. MFCR and Nitro all tied for 9th, and rounding out the top 16, all tied for 13, is Scambolini, Snixie, Kazam, and Anima. So big ups to everybody playing Strive. Now, still at East Coast Throwdown, let's round out everything else that happened there. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus taken by Thaiger, Vampire Savior. Of course, this was a very important tournament for Vampire Savior. They had that $7,000 pot. Nakanishi, all the way from Japan, invades the US and takes the money home. Melty Blood type Lumina was taken by Masoma. Big surprise there. Central Fiction, Maigo. Soul Calibur 6 is taken by Incendiate. Chimera taking Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. Mortal Kombat 11 is won by The Mighty Unjust. Nikki Video Games taking Uniclear. Justin Wong proving that even though he got parried by Daigo, he's still the best. Street Fighter Third Strike taking the win there for Justin. And Boss taking the rest. Taking CVS 2, Street Fighter Alpha, and Super Turbo. Boss doing the damage. All right. Of course, this wasn't the only big major happening this weekend. We also had... Oh, sorry. We had the Grand Blue Fantasy versus Community League. Whoever you were that told us that we don't cover Grand Blue enough, here you go. This one's for you. Miri qualifies for the Europe Regional Finals for the EU North competition of the Grand Blue versus Community League. Of course, this is the online tournament that was announced at EVO. Svampin, Ariat, Majin Tenshinhan, Ordinen, Lee Mian, Godflash Thunder, and Tuhojo rounding out your top 8. We have Zarshiro, Lemon, Muku, Windwalker, Brodsky, Mad V, Afro, and Oi 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 rounding out your top 16 for the Grand Blue Fantasy versus Community League. I'm going to get that right one of these days. Here we go. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. Thaiger Uppercut, the other big, huge event happening all the way in Thailand. Let's start with Dragon Ball FighterZ, shall we? Uchiha FZ taking the whole tournament, of course, an almost all-Thai affair. Xanus, FGO, and Easy Steals rounding out your top 4. D4Z, the lone Japan representative, tying for 5th alongside his teammate Axewood. Doraemon Fanboya and Balza rounding out the top 8. Moho Shimaika, Spaghetti Za, Suvat Ho, and Whisper all tied for 9th, and rounding out your top 16 tied for 13th. All teammates, Jealousy, Buckscrow, Sazanda, and I'm Thinking. So big ups for WDP showing up here for Dragon Ball FighterZ at Thaiger Uppercut. Next, DNF duel taken by the man who cannot be named. D4Z was an error on your end. I already forgot about it. It's all right. Look, mean scene. Everybody gets one. Everybody gets one. Now, the man who shall not be named. Infiltration taking first for DNF duel. Just a Scrub, Zyge, and Mind RPG rounding out the top 4. Tetsuga AR, High Fight, the man, the myth, the legend, the High Fight, tied for 5th alongside Tetsuga AR for tying for 5th for DNF duel. Chani and Gambu rounding out your top 8. Lord Voldemort himself, quite literally. Gaming Mogura, Sky Yuki, CPT Mon, and Junk Dog all tying for 9th, and rounding out the top 16. Aiming, KZ-chan, Slowfids, and 2. Right, High Fight taking number 5, showing he's not just a clip monster. All right, King of Fighters 15, Tetsuga AR back at it again, taking the big win for King of Fighters at Thaiger Uppercut. Psycho, The News, and Dreary Deary all tied for, or all rounding out your top 4, excuse me. Tying for 5th, a name that's very familiar. Now fighting out of Japan, it's Fubarduck. Of course, former Austin resident owner, former owner of Arcade UFO here in Austin. So good to see him doing well. Natsuki Try, also tying for 5th. Comfat and Shiranui all rounding out your top 8. T-Zane, BKK, Rensolution, and Viking tying for 9th, and rounding out the rest of the top 16 is Spursby, Mongoemon, Mimoy TH, and Stolen Heart, all tied for 13. Now, the big games are a-coming. Oil King, UYU Zone, taking the big win for Street Fighter V. Mind RPG, Bells, and Book. Talon's Book, not just the Tekken player Book, rounding out the top 4. God Dwandu and Solemn Swift tying for 5th. Toto Koset and Jinkoyuki. I'm going to get these names right. All rounding out your top 8. Tying for 9th, we got Ruts. Once again, Fubarduck showing up. Spursby and the man, the myth, the legend. Haven't seen him in a hot minute. K-Brad tying for 9th. Street, Dreary Deary, Wizard X, and once again, High Fight tying for 13th and rounding out the top 16. Dude, yeah, High Fight's showing up, man. Now, the big Dojo Prime event. Wow, this has gone long enough that the music stopped. That's crazy. I'm going to try to get it back on while I'm reading here, so this is going to be a bit of a challenge. Bear with me. What is this music? I'm so confused. Anyway, you know what? We're just going to let it rock. Tekken Dojo Prime event taken by Dawood Sikandar from Pakistan. Another Pakistan representative fighting their asses off, taking it over the Evo champion, Knee. And look at that, Mr. Book getting himself a 3rd with Ulsan rounding out the top 4. Spider-Man couldn't save him, but here he is, fighting his own way to top 5. Uncle Ben tying for 5th, alongside Shin Akuma. Julie Storm and Lan all tying for 7th, rounding out your top 8. Infested, Chanel, Wolfman, Bell, and Freaky tying for 9th, and rounding out the top 16 is Manja. I don't like Lars. I don't either. Bader Fury and Pat Lors rounding out the top 16 for Tekken. Woo! Now, are we done? No, we are not. There's still a lot more. Guilty Gear Strive, once again won by He Who Shall Not Be Named. Who was Dagwood playing? I'm trying to remember. Was it Asuka? I think it was Asuka, right? I remember seeing it. but I don't remember. Guilty Gear Strive, taken by, once again, Lord Voldemort himself, Infiltration, taking it over K-Brad. Once again, K-Brad showing up here in the top 8. Glad to see K-Brad traveling and kicking some ass. Zalf and Balza rounding out your top 4. Gyanbu and Zage tying for 5th. And once again, for the 3rd time, Book tying for 7th with stars. Book, this is his 3rd top 8 appearance at this tournament alone. Man, that guy is kicking some ass. Tying for 9th, D4Z, DZ Dog for the 3rd time again in the top 16. High Fight and Toon So Sad tying for 9th. Galewing, Sun Goki, Pikachu, and Aster Trickster all rounding out your top 16, tying for 13th. Ooh, still not done. There's more. Thaiger Uppercut also had a Smash Brothers Ultimate tournament, which was won by Jelly, and a Persona 4 Arena Ultimax tournament won by Stars. Now we have one more event, and this one was arguably a big one. PAX West Arena by Panda Global. Smash Brothers Ultimate was the Almost Pro 10K Open. Lord Aaron taking it over Cola along with Light for a big ol' Moist top 3. All 3 players in the top 3, all sponsored by Moist Esports. Larry Lur, rounding out the top 4. Mine and Justin tying for 5th. Bobby Wasabi and Moxie rounding out your top 8, tying for 7th. Tied for 9th are Cantrip, Papa Frank, Wadi, and Thomas 446. And rounding out the rest of the top 16 is Herm, Jude, Aloha, and General Egregious. Rounding out, tying for 13th for the PAX West Arena Super Smash Bros. Ultimate 10K Open. And of course, the most important game of the weekend, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the Championship Cup 2022. Taken by Strike from the USA, GNB 75, Jet and EN rounding out the big podium. Yummy Bagel, Mankalore, It's Adrian, and 8 Owser 16 rounding out the top 8. And 9 through 12th are the Cruiser, Riding My Pidgey, G1989, and Cozy Frog 5. Now, I know what you're thinking. Man, that's a long recap. But it's not over yet, because we're looking to the future, baby. Here we go. What to watch this week? We got the Treta Championship out of Brazil this Saturday and Sunday. Also this Saturday and Sunday, out of Italy, only the best number 4. Saturday is also the other Grand Blue Fantasy versus Community League tournament for East Asia. And Monday, after everything comes back for the weekday, is the Grand Blue Fantasy versus Community League tournament for North America East. Yep, it's the best of 4. Good thing we never had the 4. We only had the 3 and the 5. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to say that is the end of the weekly recap.